Hi everyone, welcome to my Flosstube video number 65. My name is Carolyn and I'm otherwise known as the Flosstube Stitcher. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thought we'd have a change of scenery. Got sick of doing it in the same room all the time, so this is my balcony at the front of my house. So hopefully the sunlight isn't too much of a disturbance and it holds out for us today and we can see some nice colours in proper detail. It has been such a busy month. I have been working 6 days a week. Still managed to get a lot of stitching done though, so I'm very happy about that. But I have so much to talk about today. I've got some very exciting personal news, which I will leave right to the end. And I have a sentimental discovery that I only just discovered this morning, and I really am excited to tell you about that. I also have all my August WIPS to show you, some new purchases, new plans, and a very big near finish, which will hopefully be finished by the next video. So let's get started. Okay, so I mentioned that I have a very sentimental discovery to talk to you about today. So what happened was my brother lives in Queensland and he lives in Rainbow Beach, beautiful part of the world. And he messaged me this morning and asked me where our dad is located in Queensland when he passed away. He passed away in Brinsmead in Cairns. And I said to him, he was cremated. And I said he was actually, his ashes were sprinkled at each of the stops. My dad was sorry, I should have mentioned this. My dad was a bus driver for the Cairns Explorer bus in Queensland, and he loved his job. And his second wife thought it would be a good idea to sprinkle a bit of his ashes at each of the stops in Queensland. And to be honest, I think Dad would have absolutely loved that. So I mentioned that to my brother and did a quick Google search and couldn't seem to find the Cairns Explorer bus anymore. And I said to him, maybe they've closed down. And then I remembered I had the brochure. So I took some photos of the brochure for my brother. So there was a phone number on there. I said, maybe give them a call and you can find out, you know, maybe another company's taken over the job. So just want to show you, this is the Cairns Explorer. And that is my dad there, the bus driver, giving a little wave. So yes, he's always been a bus driver. He loved it. So I then remembered after sending him the phone number that inside the brochure is a map of all the places that, sorry, something behind that the bus stopped at. And then I said to my brother, well, you know what? You could always do the trip yourself. Here's all the stops. You could stop off and have a little bit of a visit. And he said, great idea. You read my mind. And then I made a shock discovery. When I was looking at the map, I happened to see Cominos house. Yeah, that's it there. Cominos house was obviously one of the stops, or at least one of the destinations my dad drove past. Would have been on a daily basis. And I actually stitched that house for my dad in his memory after he died, not knowing that it was one of his regular stops. Some of you may remember having seen this, so I'll just pull it back out and show you. Now, I tested this on video before and there was a terrible reflection, so I'm going to hold it up a little bit sideways. Let's try and avoid that reflection. See if you can see it. There we go. It's probably the best you can get it without seeing everything in my room. So I happened to choose this house as a memory piece for my dad because it was a typical Queensland looking home. My dad absolutely loved living in Queensland. And I saw it was obviously a historical home, but I didn't really know much about it. So I saw this as a Ross Originals design, but it's in black and white, as you can see. It looks like a drawing. And it's something I've never done before. I've never stitched this type of design before. I still have the pattern. It's really, really tatty. What have I done with it? There it is. Look, it's all stained, and this is back before I realised that you need to make working copies of things that you're going to stitch. It's very dog-eared, like there's holes everywhere. Anyway, what I loved about this design was they don't tell you what colour thread to use at all. You choose your own colour, and this drawing effect occurs by using a combination of 1, 2 and 3 strands of floss, both in tent stitch and full crosses, and that gives that effect, which is gorgeous. I'm pretty sure I did mine in dark brown. 3371 comes to mind. I don't know, it could be 3779, something like that, but the dark brown, because I wanted the drawing effect. My girlfriend, my best friend actually, Kirsty, actually saw this stitched and loved it. She borrowed the pattern from me, and she did it as well, and she did it in a blue, like a navy blue, and absolutely stunning. So it doesn't even matter what color you choose, it comes out with this drawing effect. It's just gorgeous. But anyway, gotten off track. I could not believe when I saw Cominos house on this map, and I knew Cominos house. I stitched that, and even wrote on the back, loving memory of my dad. Like, I could not believe it. And so for 29 years, it's taken me to realise that I had something in my home of where my dad visited every day and would have known all about the history of. So Cominos house is apparently one of the oldest standing homes left in Cairns. It was relocated. It's no longer in its original position. It was moved elsewhere, but it was built by pioneering families of Cairns. So yeah, it's a very historical home. It's now owned by the local council, I believe, as an arts and environment centre, something like that. So yeah, and for those of you that don't realise, Queensland homes are built on stilts, and the reason for this is to promote airflow under the home, so it keeps the home cooler. Good reflection of my air conditioning vent there. Yeah, so there you go. Now, another thing I want to point out, and I've done this before, but those of you who haven't watched all my videos, and I don't blame you because there's been a lot, I see a lot of comments on Facebook groups about washing cross stitches. People that state, I've never washed a cross stitch and never needed to, and others saying, why do I need to wash my cross stitch? Let me show you something as to why I now always wash my cross stitches. It is a personal choice, but this piece was framed, it was stitched just after my dad died. So he died in 1994, and obviously this was back before I signed my pieces and dated them. So I'm not sure exactly when it was framed, but it would have been framed shortly after. This is one that was obviously a very important piece. So if you look closely at the balustrade on the veranda, now that's supposed to be white, and it has discoloured terribly because this piece was not washed. And although I am very careful, I always wash my hands before I stitch, there are obviously oils in our fingers, and then you've got the needle, touching the needle minder or whatever else. It's caused that. And some people can be lucky. Some people, and I've seen some people's designs where they have stitched them, they've had them framed for 30 years and there's no discoloration. Maybe they don't have an issue with oils from their fingers, but clearly I do. It's no surprise to me. I can't wear jewellery that's not gold or silver because it turns my skin black. So there must be something with my skin that creates that oil, So that's just a warning for any of you, that just be aware that this could happen. And look, I'm not going to get this reframed. I'm not going to take it out and wash it. It's I look at it now, it's an antique, it looks antique-y, it's, you know, it's aged with an antique colour now, and it's too special for me to ever risk having anything happen to this. So I will put up with the fact that it's discoloured there, and it's always a reminder to me, at least to me, that I have to wash my pieces, because I don't ever want that to happen again to anything. So there you go. So I thought that was a good way of showing why sometimes it is important to consider at least to wash your pieces. I did put a little, those of you that have Instagram, I did put a little story on my Instagram of a recent piece that I finished stitching and that I've washed. It is now sitting, because obviously stories don't last long, so it's now sitting in my highlight section. So if any of you want to see that, it's just a little snapshot of me washing, how I wash, dry and iron my pieces. So I will try and put that into a proper video where I, you know, video and talk through the video of how I do it one day, and give a little bit more insight into that. All right, next we have, I'm not going to go and mention all the fabrics and threads and stuff like I normally do, because underneath the video, if you click on the description box, I do list everything that I talk about. So all the designs, what fabric, how many stitches I've used, all that sort of stuff. So you can find all that information there. It's really pointless me talking about that each and every time and boring you. Alternatively, if you want to ask me a question on any of that, yeah, feel free to do so and I'll answer that. So this is Up on the Rooftop. Now this is August. Oh, and also forgot to mention, this video is obviously a week late. I've been holding out on doing the video because I'm waiting for some specialty fabric for a new piece that I'm doing. I ordered it from Pole Stitches in the UK 4 weeks ago, and I was hoping to get an update on when it might arrive, and I was being very hopeful. They did tell me they had a 3-week lead time, and that's now already stretched out to 4. And I don't think they have a very good track record with getting stuff out on time. But I sort of was holding off a little bit, and then I realised that I really can't hold off any longer. So this Up on the Rooftop is actually August and September now, because we're the first week of September and I've just done all my stitching on it this week. So this is 2 months progress. As usual, I'll put up my before shots so that you can see where I was up to before, which was a start. I made a start on the sleigh. So now, and I thought this might happen, we're going to have an issue with sunlight behind me. Put some paper there. So here we go. All right, so we're quite well into this. I'm quite where, okay, you're stitching with me. I'm quite well into the sleigh there now, and onto the front section. I don't know what you call that, but obviously where Santa steers the reindeer, and you can see the reins of the reindeer. And if you look really closely, you can see the reindeer horn. It's very exciting. Can't wait to get to those cute little reindeers. I say this all the time, I really love this piece. I love the fact that there is a lot of full colour stitching, which enables me to get a good amount of stitching done in a night. And then, you know, there's also some confetti heavy areas too. So I've got the best of both worlds. Really love it. It's been a lot of fun. I'm always sad when I have to put this one away though. Okay, next one is my travel project. So this is my Spring by Country Cottage Needleworks. Plastic there. Whoops. Downside of sunlight. Okay. So I think last time you saw it, part of bunnies was done. So I've done birds, nests and blooming and some butterflies. And then I just lost all enthusiasm on this piece. I was making every excuse not to stitch on it, and I don't know why. I really don't know why. Actually, I do. I do have an idea why. I think it's this nudge frame. I really like these frames, but after trying the Q-snaps, it doesn't keep the fabric tight. Like I can tighten this, and then after doing a couple of stitches, it's all loose again. They're not as good as Q-snaps. So I actually ordered a Q-snap, and then I saw another Shannon Christine Designs post on Facebook, and I was inspired. Look, I love Shannon Christine Designs, and I actually have 3 of them currently in my monthly WIP, so it goes to show how much I love them. But I must say, on her website, the images are like a computer image of the finished design, and just doesn't do it for me. But seeing them actually stitched really inspires me to go and purchase. So I have a new start, and I'll put up a picture, and this is called Looks Like Christmas. So the lady that shared her picture on Facebook, she had done this as a cute little pillow, and she had 2 pictures in the, 2 pillows in the picture, another like an ornament of Shannon's, and I saw it, and yep, that's it, I have to start that. So this is where I'm up to on this, and I'm doing this on my go-to Christmas fabric, my 32 count opalescent Belfast linen, and it looks so cute. Love it. So like the lovely lady on Facebook who shared her progress, I will be turning this into a pillow as well, and probably do a few more of Shannon's ornaments and turn them into pillows, because they're just so good. It's just, yeah, her use of colour is lovely. And this is all just DMC and reasonably priced. It's, yeah, really fun stitch. Okay, from there I go on to my other Shannon Christine Designs, is the Christmas stitch along Signs of Christmas frame. And this month, the month of August, was for Toy Shop. So this is my whole design. Oh dear. A piece of paper big enough. I might put it behind my frame. Let's give this a go. I hadn't pre-thought about this sunlight, you know. It's a bit better, but not really. Okay, so this is the whole thing that I've done so far. And then this month is a Toy Shop. There's really cute little rocking horse there and a snow globe. They're my favourite things at Christmas. They stitch up so lovely. A lot of people are doing them as ornaments. A lot of people are also stitching this on black, which looks very striking, with the white and the red. It's really lovely. Next month's is, I can't remember what it is. I'll put a picture up here. I've already received that, but obviously it's not due to be stitched for me just yet. So I will get onto that as soon as that comes up in my WIP rotation. So yes, getting all these Christmas designs done. It's getting very Christmassy in my house. What's next? Oh, okay, this is my big finish. It's not really a finish. It's a cross-stitching finish, but it's not a full finish yet. So let me just go grab it. Okay, so this is I've got it on my pillow. This is Fairy Garden Collection by Shannon Christine Designs. And all the cross-stitching is done. Yay. I love this so much. I'm kind of sad that I'm not stitching this anymore. Do you know, each of these houses would look cute as little pillows. They really would. So obviously I've washed this. This is the one that I've shown on my Instagram, how I washed it, because there is a lot of white in here and definitely didn't want it to discolor like the other one. So it's all washed and ironed and ready for beading. Now I wash, everyone's different, but I like to wash before I bead because I use nylon thread and the nylon can melt under the iron. So I just find it easier to wash it first and then just be really careful and extra clean when I'm beading. So I'm hoping the beading doesn't take too long because I really want to get this one done and framed. It's so cute. It's not really a lot of beads, but then I say that and then I start and then I go, oh wow, there are a lot of beads. Who else does that? Especially with mirabilias, you look at it, oh, that won't take long. Yeah, a week later, he's still doing it. Okay. Now you will notice that there is an item missing this month, and that is my unicorn. So sadly, I didn't get time to stitch that this month, and it does make me very sad because I love my unicorn. But with working 6 days a week and watching the soccer, and Australia didn't quite make it, but hey, we got fourth. It's the furthest we've gotten. Very happy with that. And just family stuff. Yeah, it's not always time to get everything done. I'm really happy with the progress I got for what I did. So that's really good. The other thing I want to show you before I talk about my exciting news is my purchases. All right, so this will lead on to my plans. So I think I mentioned to you all that I wanted to do a mirabilia before the retreat next year. And I couldn't really decide on which one. So I've chosen two. Now my plan is I want to have one fully stitched, not framed, fully stitched and beaded so I can take it to the retreat. And the other one I would like to stitch while I'm at the retreat. And I haven't quite decided which one will be which because it will all be based on when I get this special fabric from Pole Stitches. So I have emailed them and hopefully they will respond quickly and send this fabric off quickly because I really want to start stitching the one I want to do. So anyway, my purchases I got from JK's, what's the proper name? JK, I'm going to put it down here. JK's Cross Stitching Supplies. Can't remember. This is my second order from them. Oh, they are fantastic. Like, I always rave on about 123 Stitch, but the Australian dollar now is in a really bad condition. So buying overseas is just not feasible at this point of time. And JK's has everything that I need. They've got the specialty threads. They've got all the patterns I want. They've got the beads, even the Q-snaps and the grime guards, and they're actually cheaper than 123 Stitch. So yeah, I've been blown away by the service, how quick the postage is. Everything's reasonably priced. So if you haven't been there before, they are an Australian-based business. Check them out, show them some love. So I ordered 2 mirabilias. First is Mermaids of the Deep Blue. Now, I will say that I have seen this before, and although it's beautiful, it wasn't one I really had to stitch. You know, when you look at something, you go, oh, I have to have that. It wasn't like that for me until I saw the conversions on Facebook. And there's a couple of conversions there that I'm interested in, and I think I might actually do a combination of 2 conversions that I've seen. So I will be stitching this not in these colours, but I will change it up a bit. And I'm excited to do that one. Then the other one I've purchased is called Lady Justice. Now this one spoke to me because she's carrying scales and I'm a Libran. And I was like, that's me. That represents me. But again, the choice of colours didn't really speak to me, but there are conversions, and I saw one conversion that I fell in love with. So I will be doing the conversion of that one as well. Yes, so we will see how that goes. And I also got a bunch of Petite Treasure Braid, because as you know, I don't like Chronic. So there are some Petite Treasure Braid colours. Look at these gorgeous colours. So pretty and sparkly. I've got a really nice collection of these now. And then I had to buy some more WIPS Dyeworks threads for my Shannon Christine Christmas sale, because I was worried I was going to run out. So to buy some more candy apple. Oops, it's not really showing there. The candy apple's beautiful, but there's no variation in it. I think if I had to stitch that design again, I'd probably use DMC colours, because I'm already aware that I might not be able to wash that piece. It does say on these WIPS Dyeworks that they're colour fast, but I don't know. For anyone wondering about washing specialty threads, I read a tip. I haven't tried it, but I read a tip which I thought sounded good, and it said gather together your offcuts and put them in water, and if they run, you know you can't wash it. So that was a pretty good tip, so I might try that. So this is garnet. This one has some variation, but once you stitch it, you don't really see it. Guacamole. This one's definitely got variation. I like this one. This is Cypress. It's really pretty. And Bright Leaf again. That one's got variation. So yes, I mean they're like $4.50 a pop, so they can get quite pricey. And if you really can't see the difference, it's sort of like, well, what's the point? I mean, you can see the difference in that design in some of the colours, but not so much in others. As well as that, I got a whole, I won't go through all these, but there is a whole stack of beads for the Mirabilia that I plan on starting. So all lovely stuff there. And I bought the small, so I now have 2 Q snaps, but this is the small Q snap. This is the 8x8. And a grime guard, which is a cute Disney one. Mickey and Donald. If you haven't seen those before, they just go around the edge of your Q snap like that and protect your fabric while you're stitching, so you can hold on to it and stitch away. But I took this off for now because I was stitching down here and it was sort of like getting in the way a bit, so I just took it off. But if you use, if you've got a lot of excess fabric as well, obviously I'm stitching just what I need, but a lot of the times you've got excess fabric, you can roll it up inside here as well and keep it out of the way. So they're really great. I mean, I could make these myself, but she sells them so cheap. What's the point? And it's nice to see what design. You don't get to pick what design. It's a random choice, but it's nice to see what arrives. And also with JK's orders, you get a little free needle minder. So my first order, I got this needle minder, which is a cute sparkly little one. And the other one is in the other room. I apologise, I didn't get that one out, but that's a little, I've forgotten what it was. Let me go get it. Okay, I'm back. Okay, it's a little Hello Kitty, and it's also her business card there, so that's how she sends them out. It looks a bit blurry. So very cute and very thoughtful to have that little freebie in there, which is always nice. All right, so I think, have I covered everything that I've stitched this month? I think so. I always tend to forget something. So that leads to my really exciting news, and those of you that follow me on Instagram already know this, so I'm sorry. It's not exciting new news for you, but for those of you that don't have Instagram or haven't followed me on there, I just want to announce that I'm going to be a grandma again. So my beautiful daughter Lauren and her husband Nick are expecting their second baby, and I'm absolutely thrilled. They wanted to have their 2 children close together, so it's It's funny because they're going to be 22 months apart, which is exactly what Lauren and her own brother were. So it's like she's reliving what I did, which is amazing. So Bubs is going to be due in February next year, on the 25th of February. And that's actually the day I'm going to be on the Mirabilia retreat in Queensland. So the timing's not great. I'm really hoping Bubs comes after that, because I want to be home when Bubs arrives. But if not, and I'm in Queensland, I guess those of you that are with me in Queensland are going to be helping me celebrate. But it's wonderful news anyway, and I'm so blessed to have another grandbaby on the way. I can't wait. Hazel is the highlight of my life, and just having another little grandchild running around. And by the way, I do know the sex of the next grandchild, and I'm sworn to secrecy, so I can't tell you yet, but I will let you know as soon as I'm allowed. So thank you very much for allowing me to share that personal news with you. I hope you've enjoyed my video this month. I'm sorry it's late. I am looking forward to showing you some new finishes next month. I'm going to have the next Christmas Signs of Christmas sale that will be done next month, and hopefully the beading on Fairy Garden collection will be done, and hopefully there'll be a start on at least one of, well, I only want to start one Mirabilia now, so I don't know when that fabric's going to arrive, so keep your fingers crossed for me, please. Maybe if any of you have had any experience with pole stitches, I'd love to hear how long they normally take to arrive. I'm really hoping it's not a long time like I've read elsewhere. But yeah, let's see how we go. For now, overtime has stopped at work, so I'm back to working 5 days a week, which kind of sucks because the extra money came in handy. It is what it is. Yeah, so thank you so much for being with me today, and I look forward to talking with you all next month. Have a great stitching weekend. Bye, everyone.